Hello everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns doing a tabletop review of the KWC 357 2.5 inch CO2 Airsoft Revolver. I've already done another KWC Revolver review, and that one was for the 6-inch chrome 4.5mm Steel BB version. I will be comparing that pistol quickly to this one. They're going to be very similar, just different finishes, different barrel lengths really. Alright, let's go over some of the specifications. This is pretty much an all-metal design gun. A couple plastic parts or rubber parts on it, not too much. Has a 2.25 inch smoothbore internal barrel. Even though it is the 2.5 inch barrel, the barrel is recessed, so it's actually a little bit shorter than the 2.5 inch external portion. This gun uses 12 gram CO2 cartridges. It shoots 6mm airsoft plastic BBs. Has a fixed hop-up system, which is kind of nice, so it's going to give the BB a little bit of backspin. Should help a little bit with accuracy, especially downrange. This gun has a 6-round cylinder with brass loadable shells. This gun weighs in at about 2 pounds or 900 grams and shoots in single and double action. It has a claimed FPS somewhere around 360. We'll see when we do the tabletop review now. I'm not going to be doing any shooting in this review or pre-testing or anything, so you'll have to stay tuned for that video down the road. And again, this gun is made by KWC. It's branded by KWC, but doesn't have any licensing on the gun whatsoever. Now, it's a loose replica of a 357 type revolver, and this gun is made in Taiwan. It does come in a box. Always better than the plastic clamshells. Some specifications on here. It's in joules, not FPS, so I had to go looking for the FPS, although it's not on the box. So 360, I guess it's equivalent to about 1.4 joules, depending on the size or the weight of the ammo I guess you're using. Alright, the back is pretty much the same as the front. Okay, inside the box you will get some plastic BBs. Get you started. The shells come in here in this little plastic container. Now I've loaded them into my little speed loader here. You can see it's the larger openings on these guys. The 4.5mm version's got a smaller opening, obviously. This being the 6mm airsoft version. Put that down for now. You do have the Allen key. This is for tightening the CO2 screw at the bottom underneath the handle. And you do get a little bit of a brochure, I guess you'd say. I'm not going to open it up, but there's some KWC products in there. You can check out all that kind of stuff. I mean, it opens way up. I won't be able to get it on camera for you, but it does come with that, so you can check out their other products. And of course, you get your KWC manual with information in there on how to load it, how to use the speed loader, open the cylinder, how to shoot it, everything, how to use the safety, the parts and things in there, different parts. Right. And there is usually a schematic in here. There you go. So there's your parts diagram, some warning instructions. Again, important information you're going to need to look at before you use this gun. Getting back to the speed loader, I just want to quickly show you how to load this up. So we're just going to pop that in, and you just basically, oh, that didn't work so well, and you just let her go. So that's in there. That wasn't so speedy, but you get the idea. You basically put the shells in here, give it a little turn, it grabs onto the shells, and then you just give it another quick little turn once it's in there, and those shells go in there. So here you go, you got your shells. Pretty nice. Alright. So at this point, I'm going to do a little comparison of a few products. I did say I was going to compare it to the chrome version in 6-inch. These are really the same guns, just have different finishes, so we have a different look on the grips, even though the grips are really the same. Now this one does feel harder. It feels like it's more plasticky. This one feels more rubbery. Maybe it's my mind playing with me, I don't know, maybe because it looks like it's rubber. But to me, this one feels harder. Yeah, you can even hear it. Using my fingernail. Definitely. So this is a harder plastic versus more of a hard rubber. Okay, so that might, you know, you might like the hard rubber. I like the feel of the hard rubber. It's not as grippy. It's, well, I wouldn't say it's not as grippy because you do have the texture on it, but it's not as hard on it. It's not as sharp, I guess you'd say. Okay, but I mean the guns are the same. The chrome finish is going to make that look a lot different, and the barrel length obviously. But if you were to chop that barrel a little shorter, change the grips up, painted black, you'd pretty much have the same gun. Now this one, because it's the BB version, I'll take a shell out quickly, has a smaller opening on the shell, okay? That's just because it has a smaller ammo than it chambers. Now the BB version doesn't have hop-up. I looked down the barrel, there's no hop-up in the BB version. In the Airsoft version, there is a little rubber, I guess, bar that goes across. It's a preset hop-up, so that's going to be nice. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's going to be tough now. Really tough to see that in here, but take my word for it, there is a preset hop-up on the Airsoft version, so that should help accuracy for sure. Alright, let's take a look at another comparison product. Alright, we have the, and this is the G&G G731. I had to look because I couldn't remember. And it's another nice revolver, definitely a lighter weight revolver, but another Airsoft revolver. I guess this one would be styled a little bit closer to the Dan Wessons because it uses the same shell. Slightly different shells in both these guns. They don't fit in each other's guns because they're a little slightly different diameter, slightly different length. Okay, so you're going to need to use, this one does have CO2 in it, so I got to be careful. Alright, so you've got a less recessed barrel on this one, so it's going to be a little bit longer. That could help with FPS, I guess, a little bit. It's definitely a more compact gun in terms of just weight, bulk. Look at the grips, size. This is obviously a nickel finish. I did review this pistol, so check out that review. I've done the tabletop and shooting review. Has a different type of grip or type of sight. As you can see, you've got that groove sight that goes down the frame. If we can get it to focus. So you got the groove sight that goes down the frame, which is nice because if you want, if you want this gun to be kind of gun that's just sort of out of the way, you're not going to grab onto stuff. It's very compact for a revolver, whereas this has adjustable sights. Let's see if we can get in here. You can see how it's adjustable for windage and elevation. Okay, but it's pretty tough to see. There's no white dots. Depending on your background, depending on the lighting, depending on the darkness of what you're shooting, at or around, having white dots would help, but still not too bad. Okay, so anything else I want to show you about these two guns? Even the trigger guards are a little different, right? Everything's a little bit different on both of these guns. Alright, so at this point we'll do the walk around. Kind of shown you around already, but I'll do a quick walk around. We got our rubber plastic grips here. No real branding or licensing on there. We do have the caliber here, 6mm. That's really the only writing you're going to see on the side here. Okay, again, there's our 6-round magazine. Okay, or I should say cylinder. And we have, we also have the ejection rod. Okay. Now there's no safety on here like there would be on the Dan Wesson or the G&G version. Your safety is right here. Okay, so we're in safe, and then we're in fire. Okay, so you can see that. So safe, or fire, and safe, just by moving this in and out. So that's the mechanism that's used on this gun. On this side here, again, no licensing or branding on the grips. We do have KWC branding here on the frame, made in Taiwan, serial number. So not a lot of writing on the gun. It's nice. Don't like it when we have writing all over the place. No red tip again. I'm going to mention that. This is an airsoft gun. In Canada, as long as these guns get up and over 360 FPS, and that's for basically a .20 gram BB, airsoft BB. If we can do that, they become unregulated firearms, which means they don't need a red tip. Okay? They really don't need a red tip, period. But if they are under that FPS, they have to have clear sections. They're really considered more of a toy as opposed to I guess an uncontrolled firearm. So this would be classified the same as a regular air gun or pellet gun or BB gun, not an airsoft gun like many people would consider it to be in other parts of the world. Even though it is an airsoft gun, our classification kind of brings it more in the line with BBs and pellet guns. Alright, there is your CO2 screw right there. Okay, there's really not a lot of ugly molding or lines. Like, look at that. There's no real lines on this gun. They've done a good job, for sure. Seams and things, right? I don't see a seam at all. Looks great. Okay, that pretty much covers that. I mean, just wanted to point out, as I did with the other gun, we do have this basically springs in and out. The reason for that is it tightens the seal up on the front of the shell, which creates a better seal. More basically CO2 and pressure is going to go down through the barrel and everything as opposed to leaking out. So that's why that, and you can see here, it actually the inner barrel moves in and out like that as the rounds push it forward and back. Okay, cool. I did quickly forget to show you one thing that was kind of important. The hammer and trigger. So right there we're shooting in single action. Now we're shooting in double action. So this gun is single and double action. Okay, and you know, pretty much I didn't really say what was metal and what wasn't, but if you look at this gun, I'm sure there's some internal plastic parts here and there, but most of the gun, for the most part, is metal with the exception of the rubber grips. Everything else is metal, okay? Not steel, but metal. Alright, getting into some of the pros and the cons. I can't comment on actual performance per se. How does this gun shoot? How many shots are you going to get? Is it accurate? Has it got good FPS? Haven't done my field test, so again, stay tuned for that. I will put links in here if I can remember to. Other than that, you can always do a little quick search on my YouTube channel and see if I've posted that video yet. Alright, let's get into the pros and the cons. It's another shell loading revolver, which totally adds to the realism, not just when you shoot it, but loading her up. Got to put those BBs in there. Got to hand load each shell or use a speed loader just like you would with a real steel revolver. Again, it's a mostly all metal build. It's got great weight to it, right around 2 pounds, and nice and dense. And pretty much all the parts work as they would in a similar real steel revolver of this type. Everything, safeties, you know, single, double action, cylinder, everything works the same. Again, it has good overall weight. It's very dense because of the shorter barrel. What I mean by that is, with this style of gun, when you get into the longer barrels, the barrels are kind of hollow. So there's an inner and outer barrel, but the actual space between the inner and outer barrel is hollow. So the front part of the gun actually is a little light in comparison to a real steel gun, which would have a solid steel barrel. So the gun would actually be kind of front light if you're talking about a longer, say 6-inch version in this gun. Now because this is the 2.5-inch barrel, it has a pretty realistic balance to it and a nice density. Now the rear sight is fully adjustable for windage and elevation, so if it doesn't quite shoot dead center for you, you can adjust that. Or if you're shooting at further out ranges, you can make adjustments for that. Now the CO2 screw is well hidden since it uses an Allen key. The barrel is recessed, so yes, it's going to have a little bit shorter barrel, might take a little bit of FPS away from it, but having that recessed barrel looks good in terms of realism. Now there's not much white writing on this revolver, a little bit on the left, a little bit on the right, but not a whole bunch like you do see with some guns that have all that white warning instructions on them, so that's a positive thing. And the trigger pull in both single and double action is very good. Obviously single action being lighter and shorter. A few cons for the KWC 357 CO2 Airsoft Revolver. The short 2.25-inch barrel will rob some power, but in a lot of the testing we've done with these airsoft revolvers, they shoot a little bit hot. So having the shorter barrel is going to bring that FPS down, which may make it a lot more field friendly, especially if you're doing some CQB kind of style airsoft war games. Now the grips may be a bit large for people with small hands. It does have a large handle on it, so keep that in mind. And the all black sights are not great on dark backgrounds. So if you're shooting in low light or if you have a dark background, dark target, you may have some trouble sighting this gun in a little bit. Alright, that wraps up this review of the KWC 357 2.5-inch CO2 Airsoft Revolver. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. We will be stocking a variety of KWC revolvers in both BB and Airsoft versions, so check those out over on our Canada online Replica Airgun store. Also come down to replicairguns.com where we have articles, posts, reviews. I'll usually have some photos of this gun nice and close so you can check it out in high resolution and see my written post. And again, check out the Replica Airguns Canada and US stores where we sell air guns, BB guns, pellet guns, airsoft guns, blank guns, knives, and other accessories. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.